Let's get real for a minute. We've all been there, that moment when you're looking at him, wondering if those lingering glances mean what you think they mean. Is he just being friendly? Or is there something more intense brewing under the surface? Here's the truth. Men aren't as complicated as we make them out to be. When they want you, really want you, their entire body screams it. The problem? Most women are too caught up in their heads to see what's right in front of them. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself analyzing every little text, every small gesture, trying to decode if he's interested? Meanwhile, he's probably sending signals so clear they might as well be written in neon lights. But I get it. In a world where mixed signals are more common than honest conversations, it's hard to know what's real. That's why today we're cutting through all the confusion. I'm giving you 10 crystal clear signs that he's not just interested, he's dying for you to make a move. These aren't just random guesses or what your girlfriends told you to look for. These are backed by real psychology, actual research, and the kind of deep understanding that comes from studying human behavior. Pay attention, because once you know these signs, you'll never have to wonder again. Let's start with something that's actually pretty fascinating, and it's all about space. Not the stars and planets kind, but the invisible bubble around us that speaks volumes without saying a word. 10. The zone of desire, personal space invasion. You know that invisible bubble of personal space we all have? Research in proxemics, yeah, that's the actual scientific term for studying personal space, shows something really interesting. When we're attracted to someone, we naturally close that gap. But here's where it gets good. Men are actually more likely to maintain closer distances with someone they're attracted to, even in casual settings. According to research from the Journal of Research and Personality, men typically keep about 28 inches of space between themselves and others in social situations. But when they're attracted to someone, that number shrinks down to around 18 to 20 inches. And if he's really into you, he'll find ways to get even closer. But it's not just about how close he stands, it's about how he orients his body. A man who wants you will position himself like you're the center of his universe. His feet will point toward you. Even in a group, his shoulders will square up to face you. These aren't just random movements, they're subconscious signals his body can't help but send when he's deeply attracted. Watch for this. If you're in a crowded space and he consistently finds ways to be near you, even when there's plenty of room elsewhere, that's not coincidence. That's attraction on autopilot. His brain is literally pushing him to be in your orbit. 9. The voice of desire, vocal changes. Ever notice how a man's voice changes when he's really into someone? We're not talking about him suddenly breaking into song, we're talking about subtle shifts that his body automatically makes when he's attracted. And trust me, once you know what to listen for, you'll never unhear it. Here's what's wild. Studies in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior have shown that men's voices actually change pitch when they're attracted to someone. But unlike women, who tend to go higher, men's voices usually drop lower. Why? It goes back to our evolutionary wiring. A deeper voice is associated with higher testosterone levels, and when a man is attracted, his body automatically tries to display these masculine signals. But it's not just about pitch. Pay attention to his speaking pace and volume. When a man is attracted, he'll often slow down his speech slightly and lower his volume, creating a more intimate conversation space. It's like his voice is trying to draw you in closer, create a bubble where only you two exist. Here's something really interesting. Researchers at McMaster University found that these vocal changes happen within milliseconds of seeing someone they're attracted to, before the brain even has time to process it consciously. That means these aren't fake signals he can easily control. They're raw, real indicators of attraction. Watch for how his voice changes when he's talking just to you versus when he's talking to others. If his tone gets noticeably deeper, softer, or more intimate in your one-on-one conversations, that's not him being friendly. That's his body screaming that he wants you. 8. Body language clusters, the attraction symphony. Single body language signs can be misleading. Maybe he's just fidgeting, maybe he's just comfortable. But when you start seeing clusters of signals together, that's when things get interesting. Think of it like a symphony. One instrument is nice, but when they all play together, that's when the magic happens. Research from the University of California has identified specific combinations of male body language that signal strong attraction. They found that when a man displays at least 3 of these signals simultaneously, there's an 87% chance he's experiencing genuine attraction. We're talking about things like his feet pointing directly at you, a subconscious sign of focus, his pupils dilating when you lock eyes, a physiological response he can't fake, and his eyebrows raising slightly when you walk into the room, an automatic response to seeing someone attractive. When these happen together, that's not coincidence, that's chemistry. But here's what's really fascinating. Studies in behavioral psychology have shown that men tend to display these clusters more obviously than women. While women might be subtle about their attraction, men's bodies often betray their interest even when they're trying to play it cool. Watch for this combination. If he maintains strong eye contact, positions his body toward you, and finds reasons to be in your physical space, all while his voice has that deeper quality we talked about, he's not just being nice, his body is literally orchestrating a symphony of attraction signals, hoping you'll pick up on the melody. 7. Touch patterns, the escalation dance. Let's talk about something that's both exciting and complicated. Touch. When a man is intensely attracted to you, his touch patterns change in really specific ways. And I'm not talking about obvious moves. I'm talking about those subtle, almost unconscious touches that tell a much deeper story. Research from the University of Manitoba revealed something fascinating. Men who are strongly attracted to someone show a pattern called progressive touch escalation. They start with what scientists call safe zone touches, like a brief touch on the arm during conversation, or a light touch on the shoulder when making a point. But here's where it gets interesting. They unconsciously look for positive responses to escalate these touches. What's really wild is how consistent this pattern is. The research showed that men who are seriously attracted will find ways to create these accidental touching moments about 20 to 30% more frequently than in regular social interactions. And there's this thing called touch lingering, where these brief contacts last just a fraction of a second longer than necessary. That's not him being awkward, that's his body trying to establish a deeper connection. But there's something crucial you need to understand. These touches always follow a pattern. They start casual and social, then become more personal and intimate as he gauges your comfort level. If he's touching your hand when he laughs at your jokes, finding reasons to adjust your jewelry, or letting his leg rest against yours when you're sitting together, and these touches are happening more frequently, he's not just being friendly, he's trying to bridge the physical gap between you. 6. Time dilation, the investment signal. This next sign is subtle but powerful, and it's all about how he spends his most valuable resource, time. When a man is deeply attracted, his perception of time literally changes when he's with you. This isn't just some romantic notion, it's backed by serious psychological research. Studies in social psychology have shown that people experience what's called subjective time dilation when they're with someone they're attracted to. In simple terms, time feels different. A man who wants you will stretch out your interactions, finding reasons to extend conversations, delay goodbyes, and create more opportunities to be around you. But here's what's really fascinating. Research from the University of California, Berkeley found that men who are attracted show something called preemptive scheduling behavior. They don't just wait for chances to see you, they actively create them. They'll adjust their routines, rearrange their schedules, and find creative ways to increase their time in your orbit. Watch for this pattern. If he's consistently the last to leave when you're around, if he shows up early to places he knows you'll be, if he stretches coffee breaks into hour-long conversations, that's not coincidence. That's his brain literally rewiring his priorities to maximize his time with you. Now let me tell you something that changes everything. These first 5 signs, they're just the warm-up. What's coming next is where things get really interesting. These next signals are the ones that separate casual interest from burning desire. These are the signs that tell you he's not just attracted, he's completely captivated. And trust me, once you know what to look for, you'll never miss them again. 5. The vulnerability shift, emotional barriers breaking. This is where things start getting really interesting. When a man is deeply attracted to you, something fascinating happens in his brain. His emotional walls start coming down, even if he's trying to keep them up. And this isn't just about him sharing his feelings, it's about a complete shift in how he presents himself to you. Research from the University of Minnesota found that men typically maintain what psychologists call emotional distance in most social interactions. It's like an invisible shield they carry. But when they're strongly attracted to someone, that shield starts developing cracks. You'll notice him sharing things he doesn't usually talk about, past experiences, future dreams, even his fears and insecurities. Here's what's fascinating. Studies in emotional psychology have shown that men actually experience a hormonal shift when they're around someone they're deeply attracted to. Their oxytocin levels increase. That's the bonding hormone, and it literally makes them more emotionally open. They can't help it. It's their biology pushing them to connect with you on a deeper level. You'll see it in how he talks about himself. Instead of the usual surface-level chat about work or hobbies, he'll start revealing the stories behind his experiences. He'll tell you about that time he failed at something important or what really keeps him up at night. These aren't just random confessions, they're his subconscious mind trying to create emotional intimacy with you. 4. The priority shift, life reorganization. This next sign is huge, and it's all about how his life starts reorganizing itself around you, even if he's trying to play it cool. When a man is intensely attracted, his priorities undergo a subtle but significant shift, and research shows this happens at both a conscious and unconscious level. Studies in behavioral psychology have revealed that men demonstrate what's called proximity-seeking behavior when they're strongly attracted, but it goes way beyond just wanting to be near you. They start actively restructuring their routines and habits to increase the chances of interaction. Think about it. Suddenly his gym schedule matches yours, or he's getting coffee at the same place you do at exactly the same time. But here's what's really powerful. Research from the University of Colorado found that men who are deeply attracted show something called anticipatory planning. They don't just adjust their schedules, they start planning ahead in ways that include you, even if they haven't explicitly expressed their interest yet. They'll mention events weeks in advance, casually bringing up things you might enjoy, testing the waters for future shared experiences. Watch for this. If he starts changing long-standing routines to align with your schedule, if he remembers small details about your preferences and plans around them, if he's suddenly available when you need help with something, that's not just being nice. That's his brain literally rewiring his life's priorities with you at the center. And let me tell you, what's coming next goes even deeper. These next 3 signs, they're the ones that are impossible to fake. They're the unconscious behaviors that show he's not just attracted, he's completely invested. Stay with me because these last few signals are the ones you absolutely can't miss. 3. The protection response, primitive attraction. Now we're getting into something primal, something that goes beyond conscious thought and taps into the deepest parts of male psychology. When a man is powerfully attracted to you, his protective instincts kick into overdrive, but not in the way you might think. This isn't about him playing superhero. It's about subtle, almost unconscious behaviors that reveal his deepest feelings. Research from the University of Kent has shown that men experience a surge in testosterone and cortisol levels when someone they're attracted to is in any kind of discomfort, even something as simple as being cold or slightly uncomfortable. Their bodies literally prepare them to take action whether it's needed or not. But here's where it gets fascinating. This response happens faster than conscious thought. You'll see it in small moments. Maybe you mention having a tough day at work, and suddenly he's completely focused on solving your problem. Or you're walking together, and he automatically positions himself between you and the street. A behavior so deeply ingrained, he probably doesn't even realize he's doing it. Studies show these protective behaviors increase by up to 60% around someone a man is deeply attracted to. But here's the really interesting part. Research in evolutionary psychology shows that these aren't just random acts of kindness. When a man is truly attracted, his brain actually processes threats to your well-being in the same region that processes threats to himself. He's literally treating your safety and comfort as an extension of his own. 2. Cognitive tunneling, the focus shift. If you've noticed any of the previous signs, this next one is going to blow your mind. It's called cognitive tunneling, and it's one of the most powerful indicators of intense attraction. When a man experiences this, his entire mental focus narrows down to you in a way that's actually measurable by science. Studies from the University of California have documented what happens in the male brain during intense attraction. They found that men experience a phenomenon similar to what athletes call being in the zone. Except instead of focusing on a sport, their brain is zeroed in on every little thing about you. Their peripheral awareness literally diminishes when you're around. You'll notice this in how he responds to interruptions when you're together. Research shows that men typically take 1.2 seconds to respond to external stimuli, but when they're with someone they're intensely attracted to, that response time can double or triple. Why? Because their brain is so focused on you that everything else becomes background noise. Watch for these signs. He doesn't check his phone when you're talking. He remembers tiny details about stories you've told. He notices small changes in your appearance or mood. Studies in attention psychology show that this level of focus is actually similar to a mild form of hypnosis. His brain is literally captivated by you. Number 1, the synchronization effect, ultimate attraction. This is it. The number one sign that he's not just attracted to you, but completely, utterly captivated. And it's something so powerful that researchers have called it one of the most reliable indicators of intense attraction. I'm talking about behavioral synchronization, and once you understand what it is, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Recent research from the University of Toronto has discovered that when a man is deeply attracted to someone, his body automatically starts synchronizing with theirs in ways he can't consciously control. His breathing pattern matches yours, his speech rhythm aligns with your pace, even his heart rate tends to synchronize with yours when you're close. This isn't something he's doing on purpose. It's his body's way of trying to create the deepest possible connection. But here's what's truly fascinating. This synchronization goes beyond just physical patterns. Studies show that men in this state of attraction begin to mirror emotional states, energy levels, and even linguistic patterns of the person they're attracted to. Their brain is literally trying to get in tune with you at every possible level. The signs are subtle but unmistakable. He matches your energy level in conversations. His mood shifts to align with yours. His body language naturally mirrors your movements. Research shows this synchronization can happen within minutes of interaction when there's strong attraction, and it only gets stronger over time. Here's why this is the ultimate sign. Unlike other attraction signals, this one can't be faked or controlled. It's a completely unconscious response that only happens when there's genuine, powerful attraction. If you notice him naturally falling into sync with you in movement, in speech, in energy, that's not just attraction. That's his entire being resonating with yours. And here's what makes all of this so powerful. When you see multiple signs together, the protection response, the cognitive tunneling, and the synchronization effect, you're not just seeing attraction. You're seeing something much deeper. You're seeing his body and mind completely aligned in their desire for you. Remember, these signs aren't about playing games or manipulation. They're about understanding the genuine signals of attraction that men can't help but show when they're truly interested. When you know what to look for, you don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to wonder if he's interested or just being nice. The signs are there, clear as day, waiting for you to notice them. So tell me, how many of these signs have you noticed? Have you ever experienced that deep synchronization with someone but didn't know what it meant at the time? Drop a comment below and let me know which of these signs surprised you the most. And if this video opened your eyes to something you've been missing, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to see it too.